Many foreigners dream of finding love in the Philippines. The idea of meeting a woman who is caring, loving, and truly devoted is something that attracts men from all over the world. Filipinas have natural charm that makes them stand out. They are warm, affectionate, and often put their partner's happiness before their own. Unlike in some Western countries, where dating can feel complicated, distant, or full of unspoken rules, relationships in the Philippines often feel more genuine and traditional. A Filipina will openly express her love, send sweet messages, and make an effort to show that she values the relationship. For a foreigner, this can feel like a refreshing and exciting experience. Everything seems perfect at first. You meet beautiful Filipina who treats you with kindness and respect. She laughs at your jokes, listens to your stories, and seems genuinely interested in everything about you. When you are together, she makes you feel like the most important person in her life. She takes care of you, makes sure you are comfortable, and always wants to know if you are happy. In the beginning, there are no problems, no arguments, just pure affection and romance. Many foreign men, especially those who have had difficult relationships in the past, feel like they have finally found what they have been looking for. It feels like a dream come true. But here's the truth, many foreigners make critical mistakes when dating in the Philippines, mistakes that can turn dream romance into a complicated situation. It's not that Filipinas are difficult partners or that relationships in the Philippines are impossible. The problem is that many foreign men do not fully understand what they are getting into. They see only the good parts of the relationship but fail to recognize the potential challenges. They assume that the love they feel in the beginning will last forever without effort, without compromise, and without understanding cultural differences. One of the biggest mistakes foreigners make is rushing into a relationship too fast. It's easy to fall in love when everything feels perfect. The way she looks at you with admiration, the way she cares for you, the way she makes you feel needed, it's intoxicating. Many men quickly decide that they want to be in a serious relationship, sometimes after just a few weeks or even days of knowing a Filipina. Some go even further and talk about marriage within months. But the problem is that love, especially in the beginning, is not always a reflection of reality. In the early stages, both people are showing their best sides. Small issues and differences are ignored because the emotions are strong. But over time, the reality of who you both are will start to emerge. What happens when the honeymoon phase fades? What happens when differences in values, personality, or expectations start to surface? Many men realize too late that they committed too quickly without truly knowing their partner. Another common mistake is not understanding Filipino culture, especially when it comes to family. In the West, relationships are often independent, the couple makes decisions together, without much interference from others. But in the Philippines, family plays a major role in a Filipina's life. It is common for daughters to support their parents and siblings financially, emotionally, and in decision-making. Many foreign men do not realize that when they enter a relationship with a Filipina, they are also becoming part of her family in a way that they might not be used to. If her family needs help, she may expect her partner to provide support, or at least to understand that family obligations come first. If a foreigner is not prepared for this, it can lead to frustration and misunderstandings. Some men feel uncomfortable when they realize that their partner discusses relationship matters with her parents or siblings. Others feel pressured to give financial assistance to a family they barely know. This is why understanding cultural expectations before making serious commitments is so important. Financial expectations can also become a major issue in relationships between foreigners and Filipinas. In the beginning, everything might seem fair. She does not ask for money, and you feel that she loves you for who you are. But as the relationship grows, financial matters often start to appear. Maybe she has a sibling who needs school fees, you parent with medical bills, or simply desire for a more comfortable life. She may not directly ask for money, but she might hint at financial struggles. Some foreign men do not mind helping because they love their partner and want to support her. But others start to feel like they are being taken advantage of. The situation becomes even more complicated if financial support becomes an expectation rather than choice. The best way to avoid misunderstandings is to have an honest conversation about money early in the relationship. Setting financial boundaries from the beginning can prevent problems later. Jealousy is another challenge that many foreigners do not expect. In the beginning, it may feel sweet when your Filipina wants to know where you are and who you are talking to. She checks on you often, sends messages throughout the day, and seems genuinely concerned about your well-being. But over time, this can turn into possessiveness. Some Filipinas struggle with insecurity, especially if they believe that their foreign partner has many options and could easily leave them. If she starts checking your phone, questioning your female friends, or becoming upset whenever you go out alone, it can create unnecessary stress in the relationship. Trust should be the foundation of any healthy relationship, and both partners need to feel secure without constant reassurance. A final mistake that many foreigners make is ignoring red flags. When a relationship is new and exciting, it's easy to overlook signs that might indicate future problems. Maybe she is overly controlling, has a history of failed relationships, or constantly talks about financial difficulties. Maybe she gets angry easily or refuses to take responsibility when conflicts arise. Some men ignore these signs, hoping that things will improve over time. But problems that exist early in a relationship usually get worse, not better. Being honest with yourself about the relationship, and recognizing red flags early, can save you from major difficulties later on. So, what can you do to avoid these mistakes? The key is patience. Taking your time to truly get to know your partner is the best way to ensure healthy and lasting relationship. Love should not be rushed, and real compatibility can only be tested over time. Communication is also essential. Be open about your expectations, financial situation, and personal boundaries. Discuss important topics like family, money, and future goals before making serious commitments. A relationship built on clear understanding and mutual respect has a much higher chance of success. At the end of the day, dating in the Philippines can be a beautiful and fulfilling experience if you approach it with the right mindset. Filipinas are some of the most loving and dedicated partners in the world, but like any relationship, challenges can arise. If you take things slow, pay attention to cultural differences, and establish healthy boundaries, you can build a strong and happy relationship. But if you rush in without thinking, ignore warning signs, or fail to communicate openly, you might find yourself in a situation that is difficult to escape. Before you fully commit, ask yourself, do I really know this person? Have we talked about important issues like family, finances, and long-term goals? Am I making this decision with a clear mind, or am I just following emotions? These are questions that every foreigner should ask before taking their relationship to the next level. Love is a wonderful thing, but it should never be based on illusions. A successful relationship is built on understanding, patience, and shared values. If you take your time and make informed decisions, you might just find the love of your life in the Philippines. But if you move too fast, without truly knowing what you are getting into, you may end up learning lessons the hard way. Love wisely, and your happiness will follow. A foreigner arrives in the Philippines and quickly feels like he has entered a different world. The women here are friendly, warm, and make him feel special in ways he never experienced before. Unlike in his home country, where dating can sometimes feel complicated or distant, here everything seems effortless. The way Filipina smiles at him, the way she takes care of him, the way she expresses her love, it all feels so genuine. He is not used to this kind of attention. In his own country, relationships often felt like a struggle, full of unclear signals, mixed emotions, and a constant fear of rejection. But here, things are different. Women are naturally affectionate, they show care without hesitation, and they make him feel like the most important man in the world. He meets a Filipina who immediately captures his heart. She is sweet, respectful, and always willing to listen. When he talks, she looks at him with admiration, genuinely interested in what he has to say. She asks him how his day was, remembers the little things he likes, and always tries to make him feel comfortable. Every time they meet, she brings joy into his life, whether through her laughter, her kindness, or the simple way she holds his hand. It does not take long before he starts to feel something deeper. He thinks to himself, maybe I finally found what I've been looking for all my life. The connection feels real, and he sees no reason to question it. Their relationship progresses quickly. She sends sweet good morning messages, checks in on him during the day, and makes sure he eats well. She surprises him with small gifts, holds his hand in public, and talks about future together. She tells him that she has never felt this way about anyone before, and he believes her. For the first time in a long time, he feels truly appreciated. It is a refreshing change from his past relationships, where love felt conditional, full of expectations and complicated emotions. With his Filipina, things feel simple. She just wants to be with him, to make him happy, to love him without hesitation. Everything about their relationship feels so natural, so effortless. He wonders why he never met someone like her before. As the weeks go by, their connection deepens. She starts introducing him to her friends and family, and he feels welcome into her world. Her family treats him with kindness, offering him food, asking about his life, and showing genuine interest in him. He is surprised how warm and close Filipino families are. Unlike in his home country, where family gatherings feel rare or even forced, here family is everything. He admires the way she respects her parents, the way she looks after her siblings, and the way she values her relationships. It makes him think that she will make a great wife and mother one day. Everything about her makes him believe that he has found the perfect woman. He starts imagining a future together. Maybe they will move in together. Maybe they will get married. Maybe this is the relationship he has always dreamed of. And should he wait? He feels happier than he has ever been. Every day is filled with love and affection. He trusts her completely. He knows that she would never hurt him, that she truly loves him for who he is. There's no drama, no confusion, no fear that she will leave him for someone else. She makes him feel safe, and in his heart, he believes that she is the one. Everything feels like a dream, and he sees no reason to worry. But dreams, no matter how beautiful, do not always last forever. Slowly, small changes begin to appear in the relationship. At first, they are almost unnoticeable. She asks more questions about his daily activities. She seems a little more concerned when he does not reply to her messages right away. She expresses light jealousy when she sees him talking to another woman, even if it is just a casual conversation. He does not think much of it. After all, she just loves him and wants to feel secure in the relationship. But over time, the questions become more frequent, the jealousy becomes stronger, and the need for reassurance becomes constant. She wants to know where he is, who he is with, and what he is doing at all times. What once felt like love now starts to feel like control. At first, he reassures her. He tells her that she is the only one he wants to be with. He spends more time with her, trying to show that she has nothing to worry about. But the more he reassures her, the more she seems to need it. She starts checking his phone when he is not looking. She asks about every female friend he has, even those he has known for years. She becomes upset when he wants to go out alone or spend time with other people. What was once a sweet and affectionate relationship now starts to feel suffocating. Then, there is the issue of money. When they first met, she never asked for anything. She always insisted that she was independent, that she did not need a man to support her. But now, things are different. She mentions that her family is struggling, that her younger brother needs school fees, that her parents need help with medical bills. She does not ask directly, but she hopes that he will offer to help. And because he loves her, he does. The first time, it feels good to help. He wants to take care of her, to support her. But then, the requests keep coming. It starts small, just a little help here and there. But over time, he realizes that he is giving more than he expected. If he ever hesitates, she seems hurt. She tells him that in Filipino culture, family always comes first, and she hopes that he understands. He starts to feel trapped. He wonders if she loves him or if she sees him as a provider. The relationship, which once felt so simple and easy, now feels complicated. He begins to see things he ignored before. The way she reacts when she does not get what she wants. The way she avoids conversations about the future unless they include financial security. The way her family seems to expect things from him without ever asking. He starts to question if he truly knows her. He realizes that he rushed into the relationship without thinking about the long-term consequences. Ira, this time, living is not so easy. She is deeply attached to him, and he is emotionally invested in the relationship. If he tries to break up, she cries, begs him to stay, and says she cannot live without him. If her family finds out, they also try to convince him to stay. He does not want to hurt her, but he also does not want to stay in a situation that no longer feels right. He feels stuck between his love for her and his need for personal freedom. This is the mistake that many foreigners make. They enter relationships in the Philippines without fully understanding the cultural differences, the financial expectations, and the emotional intensity that can come with dating a Filipina. They focus only on the good parts, ignoring the red flags, and by the time they realize the truth, they are already deeply involved. Some men end up in happy, loving marriages, but others find themselves in complicated relationships that drain them emotionally and financially. The truth is, dating in the Philippines can be a beautiful experience, but it requires awareness, patience, and clear boundaries. Not every Filipina is the same, but cultural expectations do play a role in relationships. If a foreigner takes his time, understands his partner's values, and sets clear expectations from the start, he has a much higher chance of building a successful and happy relationship. But if he rushes in blindly, thinking only with his heart and ignoring the signs, he might find himself in a situation that is much harder to escape than he ever imagined. The first mistake is rushing into a relationship too fast. Many foreigners arrive in the Philippines and quickly fall in love with the warmth and kindness of Filipinas. They feel an instant connection, something they may not have experienced before in their home country. Unlike in the West, where dating can sometimes feel distant or complicated, relationships in the Philippines often move at a faster pace. A Filipina will show her affection openly. She will send sweet messages, check on you throughout the day, and make you feel like the most important person in her life. This kind of attention is powerful, and it's easy for a foreigner to get caught up in the emotions. Because everything feels so good, many men make the mistake of committing too quickly. They call her their girlfriend after just a few dates, move in together within a few weeks, or even start talking about marriage after only a few months. It all seems perfect at first, so they don't see reason to wait. They believe they have found true love and think that there is no need to slow down. But the truth is, real love takes time to grow. The first few months of our relationship are often the honeymoon phase. Both people are showing their best sides, small issues are ignored, and everything feels exciting. But once the excitement settles, reality starts to show. They begin to see differences in values, expectations, and personality that they didn't notice before. Some couples overcome these differences, but others realize too late that they rushed into something they weren't fully prepared for. The second mistake is not understanding Filipino culture and family expectations. In many Western countries, relationships are usually private matters between two people. While family may offer advice or opinions, couples generally make decisions independently. But in the Philippines, family plays a much bigger role. A Filipina's relationship is often connected to her family, and for some, their family's approval is just as important as their own happiness. If a foreigner does not understand this cultural difference, he may feel frustrated when he realizes that family involvement is part of the relationship. A Filipina's loyalty to her family is one of her strongest values. She was raised to respect her parents, support her siblings, and always put family first. This means that a foreigner dating a Filipina may find himself involved with her family in ways he did not expect. Family members may want to meet him early in the relationship, ask about his intentions, or even influence decisions about the future. In some cases, they may expect him to participate in family gatherings, contribute financially, or be involved in family matters. This can be a surprise for men who are used to more independent relationships. The third mistake is ignoring financial expectations. In the beginning, money is often not discussed. The relationship feels pure, based on love and connection, and there is no talk about financial matters. The Filipina may never ask for anything, and the foreigner assumes that money will never be an issue between them. But over time, financial expectations can begin to appear in different ways. Maybe she has a younger sibling who needs help with school fees. Maybe her parents have medical bills. Maybe she dreams of a better life and hopes that her foreign partner can provide more stability. For some men, providing financial support is not the problem. They are happy to help their partner and her family because they love her. But for others, financial expectations can feel overwhelming, especially if they were not prepared for them. The problem is not necessarily that a Filipina expects support, but that these expectations are often unspoken. A foreigner may feel that he is being taken advantage of, while the Filipina may feel that he does not care about her struggles. This is why it is so important to have an open and honest conversation about finances early in the relationship. If financial expectations are not discussed, they can become a source of stress and resentment later. The fourth mistake is not setting personal boundaries. Many foreigners come to the Philippines with an open mind, wanting to embrace new culture and experience love in a different way. But in the excitement of a new relationship, they often forget to set boundaries. They want to make their Filipina partner happy, so they say yes to everything, spending all their time together, meeting the family early, giving small financial help, and adjusting their lifestyle to fit hers. While this may seem like a way to show love, it can also create problems in the long run. Boundaries are important in any relationship. A foreigner needs to be clear about what he is comfortable with and what he is not. If he values his independence and personal space, he should communicate this early on. If he is not comfortable providing financial support beyond normal relationship expenses, he should make that clear. Many Filipinas are understanding and will respect a man's boundaries if he communicates them in a kind and respectful way. But if he does not set boundaries from the start, he may find himself in a situation where he feels pressured or taken advantage of. The fifth and biggest mistake is ignoring red flags. In the beginning, everything feels perfect, so it is easy to overlook signs that could indicate future problems. Maybe she shows extreme jealousy, constantly checking his phone or questioning his interactions with other women. Maybe she has a history of failed relationships with other foreigners. Maybe she avoids serious conversations about money, the future, or responsibilities. Some men ignore these signs, thinking that love will solve everything. But in reality, small red flags often become bigger problems later. Ignoring red flags is one of the most dangerous mistakes a foreigner can make. Love should never blind someone from seeing the truth. If a Filipina is overly controlling, has unrealistic expectations, or becomes too dependent too quickly, these are signs that should not be ignored. Many foreigners find themselves in complicated relationships because they refuse to see the warning signs early on. They believed that things would improve with time, but instead, the problems only became worse. The key to avoiding these mistakes is awareness. Love is a beautiful thing, but it should never be rushed. Taking time to truly understand your partner, her culture, and her expectations is the best way to build a strong and lasting relationship. The happiest couples are those who communicate openly, respect each other's boundaries, and enter the relationship with realistic expectations. Dating a Filipina can be a wonderful experience, but it requires patience, understanding, and honesty. If a foreigner takes the time to get to know his partner deeply, sets clear expectations, and makes informed decisions, he can build a relationship based on trust and love. But if he rushes in blindly, ignoring potential challenges, he may find himself in a situation that is much harder to escape than he ever imagined. Before making any serious commitments, ask yourself, do I really know this person? Have we talked about important topics like family, finances, and future goals? Am I making this decision with a clear mind, or am I just following emotions? If the answer is yes, then go ahead and enjoy the journey of love. But if there are still doubts, take your time. True love does not rush, it grows stronger with time, patience, and understanding. The best relationships are not the ones that start quickly, but the ones that are built on a strong foundation of trust and shared values. Be wise, take your time, and make sure that the love you are experiencing is real, deep, and lasting. For some foreigners, these mistakes lead to disappointment, frustration, or even heartbreak. A relationship that once seemed perfect turns into a source of stress. In the beginning, everything felt like a dream. The love, the attention, the care, it was unlike anything they had experienced before. But over time, reality starts to surface, and they realize that things are not as simple as they once seemed. What started as a beautiful romance begins to feel like a burden, full of misunderstandings, expectations, and pressures that they were not prepared for. One of the biggest regrets some foreign men have is rushing into marriage without truly knowing their partner. In the excitement of love, they believe that they have found the perfect woman, someone who will stand by them forever. They see how devoted she is, how much she cares for them, how she always puts them first, and they think, well, should I wait? This is the kind of love I have been looking for. They feel lucky, almost as if they have discovered a rare gem that others have missed. But love is not just about emotions, it is also about understanding, compatibility, and long-term commitment. And many foreigners, caught up in the passion of the moment, fail to take the time to truly understand the woman they are about to marry. Marriage is a serious commitment, and in the Philippines, it is even more complicated. Unlike in some Western countries where divorce is an option, the Philippines does not have divorce law. Once you are married, ending the relationship legally is extremely difficult and expensive. Some foreigners do not realize this until it is too late. They assume that if things do not work out, they can simply walk away. But in reality, breaking free from an unhappy marriage in the Philippines is not as easy as they think. The problems often start small. Maybe their Filipina wife was sweet and gentle before marriage, but now she seems to have changed. The affection and devotion that once felt unlimited now come with conditions. She expects more time, more attention, more financial support. Maybe she becomes more controlling, always wanting to know where he is and who he is with. Maybe she starts making demands that were never discussed before. The foreigner begins to feel trapped, like his freedom has slowly disappeared. The woman who once seemed like a dream partner now feels like someone he barely knows. He asks himself, what happened? How did things change so fast? For some men, the biggest challenge is not just the relationship itself, but also the involvement of her family. Many Filipinas are deeply connected to their families, and this connection does not change after marriage. In fact, for some, it becomes even stronger. A foreigner who expected a private, independent marriage may be surprised to find that his in-laws play an active role in their daily lives. Decisions that he thought would be made between him and his wife now involve her parents, her siblings, and even extended family members. The idea of personal space and independence is different in the Philippines, and if he is not prepared for this, he may start to feel overwhelmed. Then comes the financial expectations. Some foreigners enter marriage thinking that financial support will only be between husband and wife. But in reality, many Filipinas feel a responsibility to help their families even after marriage. This is not necessarily a bad thing. Filipino culture values family loyalty and support. But if financial discussions were never had before marriage, the foreigner might find himself in a situation where he is expected to provide, not just for his wife, but for her entire family. If he resists or says no, it can create tension. His wife may see it as a lack of love and support, while he may feel that he is being taken advantage of. For those who were not prepared for these challenges, frustration begins to build. Arguments become more frequent. The warmth and love that once filled the relationship start to fade. The foreigner begins to feel isolated, confused, and sometimes even regretful. He might try to fix things, to communicate, to make compromises, but sometimes the damage is already done. He realizes that he entered the marriage too quickly, without truly understanding what he was getting into. Some men reach a breaking point where they want out. They realize that they made a mistake and that the relationship is no longer making them happy. But this time, living is not so simple. If there are children involved, the situation becomes even more complicated. The thought of walking away from his family, from his responsibilities, weighs heavily on him. And even if there are no children, ending a marriage in the Philippines is not just an emotional decision, it is a legal and financial challenge. A few foreigners choose to stay in unhappy marriages, simply because they feel they have no other option. They feel trapped by cultural expectations, legal complications, and financial obligations. Some try to make the best of it, hoping that over time, things will improve. Others live in quiet frustration, regretting the decision they made but unsure of how to change it. But not all stories end in disappointment. Some foreigners who take their time, communicate openly, and understand cultural differences find happiness in their marriages. The key is not to rush. Love should never be decision made in a moment of passion. It should be decision made with patience, wisdom, and clear understanding of what the future will look like. For those who are still in the early stages of dating, the lesson is clear: slow down. Take the time to truly know your partner. Have conversations about expectations, about family, finances, and long-term goals. Observe how she reacts in different situations, how she handles stress, how she communicates during disagreements. If there are red flags, do not ignore them. Love is not just about how someone makes you feel in the beginning, it is about how they treat you in the long run. If you are already in a relationship, do not be afraid to ask the difficult questions. Where do you see this relationship going? How do you feel about financial responsibilities? What role will family play in our future together? These are questions that should be answered before any serious commitment is made. If your relationship is strong, these discussions will only make it stronger. If there are problems, it is better to face them now rather than later. For those who have already made mistakes, there is still hope. It is never too late to set boundaries, to communicate, and to make changes that can improve the relationship. If both partners are willing to work together, to compromise, and to respect each other's needs, happiness is still possible. But if the relationship is truly unhealthy, then it is important to remember that staying in a situation that makes you miserable is not the solution. There are always options, even if they are difficult. At the end of the day, love in the Philippines can be one of the most rewarding experiences of your life, if done the right way. A Filipina who truly loves you will stand by you, support you, and bring joy to your life. But like any relationship, success depends on making the right choices from the start. Before you make a life-changing decision, ask yourself, am I truly ready? Do I really understand this person, her values, and her expectations? Am I making this choice with a heart and not mind, or just with emotions? If you take your time, ask the right questions, and approach love with wisdom, you can find a lasting and fulfilling relationship. But if you rush in without thinking, ignoring the realities that come with a serious commitment, you may find yourself facing challenges you never expected. Love is beautiful, but it should never come at the cost of your happiness and peace of mind. Choose wisely, and your future will be much brighter. Before entering a serious relationship, ask yourself, do I really know this person? Have we discussed important issues like money, family, and future plans? Am I making this decision with a clear mind or just following emotions? These are questions that every foreigner should ask before committing to a relationship in the Philippines. Love can be exciting, and the warmth and care of a Filipina can make a man feel like he has finally found what he has been searching for. But emotions alone are not enough to build a lasting and successful relationship. Without understanding, clear communication, and realistic expectations, what starts as a beautiful love story can quickly turn into a complicated situation. Many foreign men arrive in the Philippines and fall in love quickly. They meet a Filipina who is affectionate, kind, and always willing to make them feel special. She sends sweet messages, makes them laugh, and shows them level of attention they may not be used to. It feels refreshing, different, and so easy. Unlike in their home countries, where dating can sometimes be difficult, here it feels natural. She is not playing games, she is not making him wait for text, and she is not afraid to show her love. Everything seems perfect, so why should he wait? Why should he question something that feels so good? The reason is simple: true love is not just about emotions. It is about compatibility, understanding, and shared values. Many relationships fail not because the love was not real, but because the foundation was weak. Love alone cannot fix misunderstandings about finances, differences in cultural expectations, or problems that arise when two people have different views about the future. That is highly taking time to truly know your partner is one of the most important things you can do before making any serious commitments. One of the biggest challenges that foreign men face in relationships with Filipinas is the topic of family involvement. In the West, relationships are often private, with decisions being made between the couple. But in the Philippines, family plays a much bigger role. A Filipina's relationship is not just between her and her partner, it often includes her parents, siblings, and even extended family. While this can be a beautiful thing, it can also create unexpected challenges. Some foreign men find themselves in situations where family members influence decisions, give advice about their relationship, or even have expectations of financial support. A foreigner who does not understand this cultural difference may feel frustrated or overwhelmed. That is why it is important to have open conversations about how family involvement will work in the relationship. Will she expect him to help financially? How much say will her family have in major decisions? These are things that should be discussed before making a serious commitment. Another important issue is finances. In the beginning, money is often not discussed. The relationship feels pure, based on love and connection, so financial matters do not seem important. But as time goes on, financial expectations may start to appear. Some Filipinas see their foreign partner as their provider, expecting him to take care of everything, including her family's needs. Others are independent and do not expect financial support at all. But the only way to know what your partner expects is to talk about it. Many men find themselves in uncomfortable situations because they never had this conversation. They assume that because money was never discussed, it will never be a problem. But later, when requests for help start coming, they feel trapped. They do not want to say no and risk damaging the relationship, but they also do not want to feel like they are being used. The key to avoiding this problem is to be clear about financial expectations from the start. If a Filipina truly loves you, she will respect your boundaries. Future plans are another important topic that many couples do not discuss early enough. When two people fall in love, they often focus on the present, enjoying the time they spend together without thinking about what comes next. But eventually, the future will become an important conversation. Where will you live? Will you stay in the Philippines, or do you expect her to move to your country? Does she want children? What are her career goals? These are things that should be discussed before making long-term commitments. Some foreigners assume that their Filipina partner will want to move to their country, only to later find out that she wants to stay close to her family in the Philippines. Others assume that she does not want children, only to realize later that starting a family is one of her biggest dreams. The only way to avoid these misunderstandings is to talk about the future early on. If two people have different goals, it is better to know before they are too deeply involved. Another mistake that many men make is ignoring red flags. In the early stages of love, it is easy to overlook small problems. Maybe she is overly jealous, always asking who you are with and checking your phone. Maybe she avoids serious conversations about money and the future. Maybe she has a history of failed relationships with other foreigners. These are things that should not be ignored. Many men assume that things will improve over time, that once they are married or living together, everything will be perfect. But in reality, small red flags often become bigger problems later. If there are already issues in the relationship, they should be addressed early on, not ignored in the hope that they will disappear. Jealousy is the common issue that some foreign men experience when dating a Filipina. While some level of jealousy is normal in any relationship, extreme jealousy can be a warning sign. Filipina who constantly questions where you are, who you are talking to, or gets upset whenever you interact with another woman may have deeper insecurities. Some men find this level of attention flattering at first, but later, it can become exhausting. A relationship should be based on trust, not constant suspicion. If jealousy becomes a regular problem, it is important to have an honest conversation about trust and boundaries. Possessiveness can also become a problem. Some Filipinas expect to spend all of their time with their partner, feeling hurt if he wants to go out alone or spend time with friends. While it is natural for couples to want to be together, personal space is important in any healthy relationship. A foreigner who is used to having independence may struggle if his partner does not understand his need for alone time or social activities without her. This is why setting boundaries early on is essential. If a Filipina truly loves and respects you, she will understand that love does not mean losing individuality. Despite these challenges, many relationships between foreigners and Filipinas are successful. The key to success is taking time to truly know your partner, communicating openly, and making decisions based on logic, not just emotions. Love is a beautiful thing, but it is not enough in itself. A relationship also needs understanding, compromise, and shared values. If a couple can talk about important issues, respect each other's boundaries, and have the same vision for the future, they have a much higher chance of building a happy and lasting relationship. Before making any serious commitment, take a step back and evaluate the relationship. Ask yourself, do I really understand my partner's expectations? Have we talked about money, family, and the future? Are we truly compatible, or am I just following my emotions? If you can confidently answer these questions, then you are on the right path. But if you have doubts, do not rush. True love does not need to be hurried. The best relationships are built on a strong foundation of trust, understanding, and patience. If you take your time and make thoughtful decisions, you can find a relationship that brings you happiness and fulfillment. But if you rush in blindly, ignoring potential challenges, you may find yourself in a situation that is difficult to escape. Love wisely, and your future will be much brighter.